Hello and welcome here today for the RFA Kings Cup final, and we are down to at least two teams left in this grand finale final here today. The league has finished last week, as we know that Red Bull Tominto did come 6th, a highest position they ever finished actually for a long period of time. And also as well, their opponents today, Puerantos, the favourites to seem like they could win here today a domestic cup trophy, because we know that in 3 days' time they will be playing the Europa Conference League final against Chester Blue Tigers also. And could they win the double? But who knows? And now let's talk right now, Gary, about these two teams in this big major final. What's your thoughts about it all? It's a massive game. It's a massive game it is between Red Bull Tominto and Puerantos, however. Puerantos, however, are a very, a young, small team who are growing to be a big established club now in the Premier League. And for them, they haven't won any domestic cup trophies in their club's history. But they can do that here today, they could do, if they actually win here and overpass here Red Bull Tominto. But as of for Red Bull Tominto, a very good season they've had under Charlie Taylor, the team who actually now marched into the Europa League for next season. They came 6th, they did the end of the last week, they did on Sunday. They did quite well beating Padres by 1-0. And they do obviously qualify for the Europa League. But as of today, could they win a domestic trophy under their name? Ever since when Red Bull Tominto, the Red Bull, took over Tominto Bees last season, they have transformed this team into a top 10 team. And today was a good season for them in their first season as owning the club. But maybe today they could even win a trophy under their name after a very incredible season they've had in the Premier League. Cheers there, Gary. And now let's get straight now to the road to the final. How these two teams got here, and this is what happened. So how it all started off for the road to the Kings Cup final for Red Bull Tominto start off. So they knocked out Springfield out of the first round by 4-0. Then they progressed into the second round and beat Swansford AFC by 2-0. Then they moved into the round of 3 and beat Fulham Hatters by 2-1. And then the Georgington Red Devils, they actually beat them by 1-0. And then also in the semi-finals, they beaten Padres Impact to get to the final here today to take on Puerantos. But as of for Puerantos, however, they obviously knocked out Hassonfield Terriers in the first round by 1-0. In the second round, they knocked out Morgan Wolves by 2-0. And then in the third round, they played Kings Park Rovers and won by 2-0. Then they moved into the quarterfinals, and it was actually a draw as Los Andreas drew 2-2, but then actually won on pens by 3-1. Then they moved into the semi-finals and beat Chester Blue Tigers by 2-1. For the starting lineup here today, we have here will be Devon Williams will play up front with Haaland. In midfield, we have is Robert Cliff, Kaka, Savic and Ronaldinho. In defence, we have is Greg Smith, John Smith, Sakina, Thomas Partey and Akafif. Then, however, Red Bull Tominto, they've got obviously Bashiwai, the guy who actually scored to actually knock out the Red Devils out of the quarterfinals of the RFA Kings Cup Trophy. He starts today, accompanied by Van Persie, with Ian Robin and Dwight Young. In midfield, we're going to have is Axel Witsel and Harrison Coombs. And then we're going to have here is going to be Vertonghen, Makikisio, Rio Wilson and Simakun, and goalkeeper David Seaman. Before we get to the game now, let's head to the managers, Brian Clough and also Charlie Taylor. A massive game it is here today for us. We know that, a chance for us to win our first cup trophy is something that we want to do. We know that it's going to be a tough task because Red Bull Tominto did actually overpass the Red Devils and also Padres to get all the way to the final of this competition here today. But look, we've got a strong team. We're prepared, obviously, to give ourselves a lot of confidence going to this final today. Togetherness in this match with the supporters who come here to Georgington today to watch us play. The players, obviously, and also the whole coaching staff and I. We're all together here in this matchup to win ourselves our major trophy, hopefully by today's match. Well, for us today, we know that it's a big game for us and a challenge for us as also because this team has not reached into a final. And look how far we've came in terms of being brought by the owners at the start of the season. transformed our team into a team to compete in the league, to get us to get promoted into the Europa League for next season. And, our club's doing quite well for ourselves, But look, we've been discussing to the players during training this week after the league ended on Sunday. We got to really show the supporters here who travelled all the way to the city of Tominto, all the way down to George Unison today in this cup final here at the Soccer City Stadium with a lot of heart, a lot of passion and a lot of fight and togetherness, because we know that we can do this as a club. And with the financial resources we've had now since the Red Bull owners took over our team from last season, we've got a chance maybe to win ourselves our first silverware, and we'll find out here tonight if that's the case. Okay, that's all there for the two managers here today, but let's get straight now to the matchup itself here at the Soccer City Stadium, and it's Red Bull Tominto, Puerantos. Let's get the games begin! And hello and welcome here today at the Soccer City Stadium here for the Kings Cup final. It's Puerantos as they will play Red Bull Tominto, and that trophy right there is going to be defended right here inside this pitch, because one of these two teams could leave here as the RFA Kings Cup winners here today's game. Let's now head to the national anthem of Republic States before kick-off. So the official lineup here today for the Cup final. Haaland up front with Williams, Robert Cliff with Kaka and Savic and Ronaldinho in midfield. Defence will be Partey, Skigner, John Smith and Greg Smith, and keeper Akafith. For Red Bull Tominto we have Batshuayi up front with Van Persie, with Robin and Dwight Young, with Coombs and Witsel. Defence we've got Simican, Wilson, Makisio, Vertonghen, and keeper as well David Seaman right there for Red Bull Tominto. And here we go, let's get straight into the matchup here for the cup final. Who will lift that domestic cup of this season between these two teams? And here we go for kickoff for the final of the Kings Cup final here today. And now here's Kaka with the ball. Pass there to Greg Smith now. On the attack. Good start here for Puerantos here on the attack here now. Could be a chance. Good defending there from Red Bull Tominto. Now Coombs wins it back. Now to Van Persie. Now Simican. Nice ping all the way there for Vertonghen there for Red Bull. Another ping again into the head there again. That's a foul. So that's going to be a free kick here now in the match. And Van Persie right there got elbowed right there by Skigner. So Skigner was actually fouled there by Van Persie, so free kick's been given. So Skigner will take it for Puerantos. And pass it there. Oh, wrong mistake here. He's gone now to Batshuayi here. Mistake's been made. He's 1v1 here to the goalkeeper. And a save there from Akafith. Put his leg to that as well. And it could have been a disaster there by poor defending there from Puerantos there, but he did stop that quite quickly there, Akafith. Now, meanwhile, on the other side of the pitch now, Haaland's through. Haaland, 1-0 in the first 15 minutes into the game, and Puerantos are in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. And what a goal right there for him in the match. We know that obviously Puerantos, however, might win the double this season. They've done quite well in the Premier League by finishing third last week in the league, but they've got also today's cup final and also got the last game to play throughout the whole season in all competitions on Tuesday when they go to Old Trafford and play in the Conference League final against Chesico Blue Tigers. But start right now, it's 1-0 to Puerantos here, and Haaland is on the score sheet. And he's also the player of the season, Erling Haaland. He was won the player of the season from obviously being the top goal scorer throughout the whole campaign, and being the player really responsible on helping out Puerantos and lead them all the way to qualify for the Champions League next season. Now Partey. Now Savic now. Now to Haaland now. Okay, all the way now to David Williams, and Seaman there has got the ball in his hands. And now throws it out to Vertonghen. Now is Dwight Young. Now all the way to Bashiwai. Now to Van Persie. And now crossing the box here. Good defending again. And now here's to Cliff. Okay, now here's to Bashiwai. And now here's Young. Good defending. Great cover. Now to Williams again. Now all the way there to Ronaldinho. And now could be a chance there. But went to the keeper's hands. Keeper got it in his hands right there. Now boots it. Now to Van Persie. Haaland. Haaland now keeping it alive here. Now Kaka. Now Cliff. Now Kaka. Sit. Goal! 2-0 Puerantos. And it's a goal right there from Kaka. And extended the lead here just before half time. They need that lead, of course, but they've done that superbly. What a hit right there from him. What a superb hit. A good pass there. 1-2 from obviously there to Robert Cliff there to Kaka. And then Kaka, the Brazilian there, hits it right into that side netting. Beats past Seaman. 2-0. And now we kick off the play here. And now it's half time here. A wrap here for the first half. And Puerantos lead in the game here by 2-0 here at the stadium of Soccer City. And we are here now for the second half of the match here today's game. And now here's Rio Wilson. And now Witsel. And now Van Persie. Now Robin. All the way. And that's going to be now a goal kick. So Akafif will take it. And it looks like Puerantos look like the ones could actually win the RFA Kings Cup trophy here. So it looks like now Akafif will take it. He's taking it very, very calmly here. And he's taking it right now very slowly as it takes for him in the match. Now on to Haaland's head. But now back to Red Bull Tominto here. And obviously Puerantos have not won any domestic cup trophies or any trophy since the club was formed in 2019. They actually got into the final of this competition way back in 2020 but lost to Goldfield in the final. They haven't won any trophies at all. But I've got to say a very impressive season that Brian Clough's had by getting Puerantos to qualify for their first ever Champions League competition for next season to secure. They did that quite well this season. And also their main talisman for Puerantos, Erling Haaland, was the player of the season as he was actually announced last week. As he was a top goal scorer, he actually left the season with loads of goals he scored in the division. And he deserves it, he does, Erling Haaland, to do that. And actually helped Puerantos and lead them all the way to the Champions League qualification in the league. But also in the cup competition, I've got to say, he's done quite well to carry them into a cup final. But not just this competition, but also the European competition taking place on Tuesday. Now, Haaland, meanwhile, again, speak of the devil, could have scored, but it hit the wall. And that's going to be now a corner here for Puerantos here. A very good attack there from Puerantos there. But right in the foot there from Mauricio. And now Ronaldinho there, cross it into the box, but right into the hands of the keeper. A big boot away there. Now Bashiwai. Okay, pass there to now to Ronaldinho. Now Kaka. Savic. Williams. Goal! 3-0. 3-0. Devon Williams has got himself on the score sheet today. What a goal. And David Seaman could do nothing about that one. And they are definitely going to win the RFA Kings Cup Trophy of 2023. I know obviously Red Bull Tominto, when they actually went all the way to the final, they actually knocked out the holders of this competition, the Georgington Red Devils, in the quarter-finals of the RFA Kings Cup Trophy. I'm a bit surprised that Red Bull didn't really give a fight here, today's match against Puerantos here, because by beating Padres in the last round and even beating the Red Devils, the holders of this competition, it probably looks like they could probably give Puerantos a heck of a game here. But it looks like it's a one-sided matchup. It looks like Puerantos were the pure dominance in this game here. But we know that they've got a European final to play also on Tuesday night. They've got to play at Old Trafford in Britain. If they want to win another trophy under their name, win the double, it could happen. And there's a tackle there in a half from Robert Cliff, was fouled there by Vertonghen, and now there's a free kick here for Puerantos in the match. So Akafif will take it and pass it short there to John Smith. Now to Greg Smith. Now to Savic. Good clearance away there from Red Bull Tominto. Now here's to, okay. Now to Haaland. Williams. Okay, now wins it now to Ronaldinho. Good tackle there from, obviously from Simicon. Clears it away. We've got 3 minutes left of stoppage time remaining here in the game. Now Robin. Header. No, he's bet. Oh no, it's a party. And it's over. And Puerantos have won the domestic cup competition, their first ever trophy in their club's history, in their cabinet. Because Puerantos have won the whole entire cup competition ever since playing against Hassenfield way back in the first round in July. They've won themselves the King's Cup trophy. What a monumental win here, obviously here for Puerantos here today. They deserve it. Well deserved. The 2020-2023's RFA King's Cup winners, Puerantos. Huge congratulations to Puerantos, however, to win their first ever domestic trophy in their club's history. But now let's go downstairs to interview the managers after the game. Brian Cliff first, and also Charlie Taylor, the loser. I can't say anything else. We champions. And, you know, the hard work the players have given, you know, for the 4 years this club was formed in 2019 is absolutely remarkable. One step closer each season. And now we've won ourselves a prize today. And also we've won ourselves a chance to play in the big leagues, the European stages next season of the Champions League. It's a huge achievement for us as a football club. And we also got another cup final to play also in 3 days' time to go to play in Manchester to take on Chester Go Blue Tigers in the Conference League final. And, you know, we've been quite good, you've been this season. And I've got to say, I'm very proud and I am so happy that we are a team to unite together because we played so good football this season. And even today to win the RFA King's Cup trophy is absolutely magnificent, it's been. So yeah, we deserve the victory today and, you know, the trophy's ours. So I can't say no more than that. It's heartbreaking to be the second best today in this cup final. A day out to go to Georginaton to expect us to lose here today. It wasn't really that good to see that our team got destroyed like that on the pitch. But look, we had a very good season we've had. We know we've got European football next season to play in the Europa League. You know, this club was also been through a lot throughout this whole year. You know, look how far we've came from being a team who are at the bottom half of the table of the Premier League. And since, you know, the backing, financial backing, you know, the brand of Red Bull brought the club at the start of the season and transformed us into a team now to compete in the top levels of the Premier League in the top half of the table. And we now got Europa League football next season that I'm very excited to see for our team. And that'll be something that I look forward to next season. But as of today, disappointed to come runners up. We were very close to win the Cup final today. We know we did very well by beating the holders of this competition, the Red Devils, in the quarterfinals, and even beating Padres in the semi-finals to get here today's final here today. And we might have got something against Puerantos today, but it wasn't meant to be for us, and we came a second best, and we have to accept that and move on. And I want the players to be, you know, embrace, you know, the defeat today. You know, have a rest, have a break from football, and come back from pre-season fit as ever for next season. So it's something that I'm very proud of, that how far we've came in the whole of this campaign. But we can have a lot of learning curve to do if we want to try and be a lot better than this season, to try and finish a lot higher in the league due to the backing we have by Red Bull. And that's all we have time for here for all the managers talk. Now let's talk now to hear my pundit next to me, Gary Hopper, on the result here for Puerantos today. They are now the RFA King's Cup winners of 2023. Tell us your thoughts on how this season's been for them in this whole campaign, and also as well in this win today against Red Bull Tominto. Yeah, like, what Brian Clough said in his interview right there, he was spot on how the way this team played this season. They play a very good football they've played. They played, attacking football. They've been very, aggressive they've been throughout, majority of their games. They've played against two teams in the league and, they've been very, very good. They've been showing a lot of resilience throughout the whole season. If they lose a game, they get back up quite quickly and continue and get results after that as well. And look, they've actually done quite well for themselves. They've got themselves, a Champions League qualification for next season. They've won themselves here today the cup competition of the RFA Kings Cup Trophy. They've also got to play in the European final in the Conference League against Chestergo and in Manchester on Tuesday. And that's going to be a heck of a matchup also in that game. But as of for the whole majority of, today's match in itself, it's been a very good game for them. And I think also for the opposition, for Red Bull Tominto, I feel that feel a bit quite premature for them to actually win anything since they got new owners in, since they took over at the start of the season. But as of for now, a great result it was there for Puerantos, however, and they well deserved from Brian Clough's team and also all the players also involved in this cup final to actually win themselves their first ever silverware as a football team. Thank you there, Gary. Let us get now to wrap up the end of the show here today for the Kings Cup final, as that was a good win here for Puerantos here today to do so. But before we end off the show, these are the official matches that will be taking place next week for 3 of the European Cup trophies taking place. We are going to be having on Tuesday, on the 12th of December, Puerantos as they will play Chestergo. On Thursday, the 14th of December, we are going to have Arsenal as they play against Padres Impact. And then we'll have his Goldfield Boys United as they will play Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League final. But that's all we have time for here today for all of the content here of the RFA Kings Cup Trophy. And we'll leave you as Puerantos as champions of this competition. Goodbye.